Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the GR Corolla, and this one has the Circuit Edition package. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larch Miller Toyota here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with this Corolla. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this is a turbocharged 1.6 liter 3-cylinder that goes through a 6-speed manual transmission. Fuel economy is 21 around town and then 28 on the highway, with power outputs being 300 horsepower and then 273 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood itself, you guys can see we've got the normal Corolla hood, except we've got venting with this Circuit Edition. And in person, this just looks so cool and it just adds a level of aggression to the car. Really cool daytime running lights here. You guys can see with the headlights as well. And then we got the fog lights just down below, and then that's just blacked out right there. It's actually closed off, pretty interesting. And then we have the massive front grille here, all blacked out, GR badge there off to the side. And putting it all together, finally seeing the GR Corolla with this hood makes me a much bigger fan. Now, coming on the side here, time wheel setup is 235/40/18 in the front and over in the rear. And I actually really like the wheel design. Here's a closer look so you guys can see a little bit better. It's cool how it's all blacked out. You also have the red brake caliper, which just kind of adds to the sporty feel. Being the GR, you guys can see how it's kind of like just wider here, and we've got the vent on the side. GR badge. Notice how the mirror cap is blacked out, and then you guys can see the door handles are body painted, and obviously you've got the wide body kit here in the back where it kind of extends onto the door, and then it says GR4 right there. And then here's your full side view on this Circuit Edition. I think this is the best angle on the GR Corolla. It just looks so cool. Now here's our key fob. It says GR there on the back. We have our unlock and our lock function, Toyota logo there on the front as well. And this leads us into the hatch area. So you guys can see we've got a cargo cover built in from the factory. Decent amount of storage space. It says GR Corolla there with the covering, which I think is pretty cool. But this is one of the things that's really appealing with this car is it's practical. Actually, you have this nice little handle so you can kind of throw the hatch down. Now with the Circuit Edition, you do get a forged carbon roof. So I know that it looks like the roof is super dirty, but forged carbon has an appearance that kind of makes it look like it's dirty. But anyways, we also have this super aggressive spoiler here in the back end. And let me tell you, this makes the GR Corolla look so much better than the one that has like the tiny little spoiler that I've reviewed a few times. Anyways, look at the taillights here. Super sweet. Got your GR Corolla badge down below. Can't have enough of those. And then of course we have the triple exhaust tip setup here at the bottom, which just looks so aggressive. And wrapping things up, this package makes me a huge fan of the GR Corolla because the first couple GRs that I reviewed, again, it's not like they were, you know, bad looking per se, but like with the spoiler, with the forged carbon roof, with the hood vents, it just, this is what this car should look like in my opinion. And popping inside, things get even more exciting. So you've got some padding here, red stitching throughout, and then some piano black trim right there. But the fun part is the seats. You've got red stitching. You guys can see the inserts here, and notice how it's got like red there in the background and then some more red stitching. And while we're back here, legroom's pretty good. Again, it's a smaller size car, so it's kind of to be expected that it's not going to be massive. And of course, we have a cup holder armrest back here, but seriously, these seats are actually really comfortable too. I just love the look of these. And then also headroom. It's pretty good. Now taking a look at the front door panel, you can see it's soft touch here, and they've got some red contrasted stitching. All of our window controls right here, and then you guys can see the mirror adjustments. We've got blind spot running with the mirrors as well. And then look at these front seats. So you can see it says GR there, and then look at the inserts there in the center. They are manually adjustable, and then really nice looking pedals, right? And then we also have this for the heated steering wheel. You've got that for your auto rev match. And then the steering wheel is also manually adjustable. So here is the steering wheel. I love the overall kind of like shape and design. You got the GR logo there at the bottom, and this actually comes with a bunch of practical daily driver stuff. So we've got adaptive cruise control, you've got lane keep assist, we've got volume controls, voice command controls, obviously the regular stocks there on the back, but yeah, pretty normal steering wheel setup for such a crazy car. Now I've got this full digital gauge cluster here in the center, and basically we can just scroll through these different menus, see different bits of info on the car itself. But the fun thing is the drive modes. So we do have a few different drive modes. So this is the sport mode, for example. You guys can see that it'll just say like sport right there. You also have a custom and normal and then eco mode. And then the next thing is, well, we've got a track mode for the all-wheel drive system, and then you can also do the front biased and then the rear biased. You guys can see how it changes from the 60/40 to the 30/70. So depending on where you want the power to go, you can basically determine that with the flick of a switch. And then in reverse, it just has a regular backup camera. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, it's Toyota's newer unit, so it's got this shortcut bar here on the side. It's frankly really easy to use. Response time's also great, and you still have an analog volume control. You guys can see the vents here, and then we have our single zone climate, and then look at the soft touch here on the dash, and then at the very top, it's also soft touch as well. And then down below, we've got our wireless phone charging pad, we got heated seat controls, and then more of the red stitching this area. Drive mode select with our stability control right next to it. Now here is the shifter for the 6-speed manual. It's super notchy into the gates. Reverse lockout is just up and over. And then look at the print here in the top. I think that's pretty special looking, and I just like the overall feel and look of it. This is that all-wheel drive select that I was telling you about earlier. So you got your track mode, your front bias, your rear bias that you can change it to. And we actually have a regular parking brake with this. We've got some cup holders right here, and then you guys can see, I guess this is our center console. And you got some charging port action. And well, speaking of storage, here's your glove box, so at least it has that. And then up top we have a manual mirror dimmer, and then just a darker colored headline. No sunroof, obviously, because forged carbon roof. This is pretty cool. You get this plaque here for the Circuit Edition, limited to 1,500 units, and it's like hidden because when you close the door, like obviously it's in the door jamb area, so that's cool. Now here's our window sticker for this Circuit Edition. You guys can see all of the standard equipment that comes with this, which everything is standard the Circuit package outside of the floor mats, I suppose. But something to note here with the Circuit Edition, notice it comes standard with the Torsen limited slip differential, and then you also have the red calipers and everything. Those are options on the base GR Corolla, so a lot of stuff that you could add to the base GR Corolla, this just comes with as standard, so it comes with all the performance stuff as standard. Anyways, total MSRP on this one is $44,284, and let's sum things up. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility of the hood. Both the mirrors do a blind spot monitoring. And throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, if you guys follow the channel, you know the drill with this. So we can't take this one out on the street, but we can take it back to its parking space. And so I guess that means that we got to drive it in sport mode, as you can see. So I want to talk about this package. I've had a chance to review a couple other GR Corollas at this point. And you know, I've kind of begun to form an opinion on this car. First off, you get a little bit of turbo blow off. It's cool. It's a quick car. The manual transmission, by the way, it's so good. It's super notchy into the gates, and the clutch, although there's not a ton of, you know, feedback, it's really easy. Like, I think that you could suck at driving manual cars, and this would be a car that would be pretty easy. Again, the auto rev match also helps out quite a bit. So here's my kind of, you know, quote unquote hot take on the GR Corolla from what I've seen so far. So if you get a regular GR Corolla and just add the limited slip differential and all of that, then you basically have a Circuit Edition. You just don't have the cool spoiler and you don't have the forged carbon roof. You know, in terms of like actual driving and real life performance, they're gonna drive the same. They are going to drive the same. So that's not why you'd get the Circuit Edition, but I guess it can give those of you that are GR Corolla fans hope that, you know, don't want to pay the price premium that is going to be going on these Circuit Editions, because again, they're limited edition. There's only 1,500 of these being built. But outside of that, you know, where's the Circuit Edition sit? And where I see this car sitting is, for those of you that want something that's a little bit more special, right? Limited edition, part of it, but also the looks. Like, you know, again, this is where my hot take comes in. I'm a person that, like, if I'm going to spend as much money as what this car costs, you know, like $40,000 for a base Corolla with the performance add-ons roughly, and then, you know, almost $45,000 for this circuit edition. I'm gonna want something, even if I was just spending $40,000, I'd rather spend the extra money and get something that feels more special. That's kind of where I think this car sits and why you get this over the regular. And, you know, plus if you're gonna get the performance stuff anyways, and by the way, this is actually really easy to reverse with this manual. I'm surprised. But as I was saying, if you're gonna get the performance stuff anyways, I think that this circuit edition makes sense because it has it as standard equipment, and I'm sure that the long-term resale value on this is going to be, they're probably both going to be amazing because the GR Corolla is limited edition in general, but this surely will be better than a regular GR Corolla. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I think that this package is the one that I personally would try to get my hands on, because again, if I'm going to spend $40,000+ on a Corolla, I want something that feels super special. This does feel super special, being limited edition, looking really cool, having the forged carbon roof. I mean, it's got everything. It doesn't necessarily, I mean, I'm sure Toyota will say that it adds the performance, but like, let's be real here. It's, again, if you get a regular Corolla with all the stuff, it's not going to add to the performance, but it is going to add to the cool factor and the experience that you have as an owner of it. But let me know what you guys think.